K Nation. Sponsored by 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Tonight on K Nation, someone say Bah?
Bah.
The GOAT of K-State women's volleyball, Liz Wegner-Busch, throws on the Wildcat uni one more time. We sit down with the program all-timer later in the show.
Plus, KU men's basketball's roster isn't complete, but we're starting to see the makeup. Later in the show, we'll bring in King Henry Greenstein to discuss Bill Self's 2025-26 crew.
Plus, some familiar faces hit the practice field in Kansas City. We'll hear from a former Jayhawk at Chiefs minicamp who says his dream is coming true. Welcome to K Nation. Lena Reinhardt alongside Caroline Sorrow. And Caroline, K Nation has kept us pretty busy this week.
It absolutely has. We've got a ton of things to get to, so it only makes sense to start from the top,
of course.
Right? Travel back to Tuesday with me for the historic border war rivalry between Kansas and Missouri baseball, being played at Hoagland Ballpark this year as opposed to the Royals Kauffman Stadium last year. These two, though, have been going at it since the late 1800s.
Did you say 18?
Yes, with Mizzou leading the all-time series 206 to 138 to 2 before Tuesday. Then Brady Council and KU's pitching staff got a hold of them. Career-high 5 RBIs for Council in 6 scoreless innings for the Tigers. It lifts KU to a 9-3 win.
First time playing it, obviously, and the fans, it felt like a weekend game. It felt like a big series against Kansas State, so it was awesome to play, and it was a great environment.
The interesting part of our team is 27 new guys who didn't necessarily grow up with an understanding of the rivalry, but they certainly understand rivalry, and so I think this is an interesting one because it's so palpable.
And if you're wondering about those sweet uniforms too, this game was also a tribute to the late and great Buck O'Neil and all that he did for the game of baseball. Pretty cool.
Jayhawks have been phenomenal against quote-unquote rivals this season. They lost to Nebraska to start, but since then, 6 straight wins over these teams, including that Sunflower Showdown sweep. KU plays at Missouri on Tuesday in its final non-con matchup of the season. But not so good at home this weekend against Cincinnati.
Right.
After getting back into the top 25 rankings, KU gets swept by the Bearcats at home. Don Vegley had 8 strikeouts Friday night, but stayed in one batter too long, giving up a go-ahead 3-run shot. In Game 2, Daryl Osoria hit a 2-out, 3-run 9th-inning homer to send it to extras, but they did end up losing that game. Today, relievers give up 8 runs in the 6th and 7th for 3 straight conference losses.
Meanwhile, the Batcats get 4 games on the road this week. K-State falls 7-6 at Nebraska on Tuesday, and the Wildcats beat the Huskers earlier at home and at the Frisco Classic this season too. Then off to Provo. Game 1 against BYU is an 11-6 loss, but then Game 2, in true May the 4th fashion, Seth Dardar binks his 2-run home runs. That was a surprise. And Keegan O'Connor hit 3 in a row en route to an 18-4 win. That is not a typo. Setting up a Saturday rubber match, the Cats use a 6-run first to complete the series win. Record is now 28-20, 14-10 in conference. And the midweek game against Omaha this week is canceled. So up next, they'll host the top of the Big 12, West Virginia Mountaineers.
A lot of movement can still happen.
Yes.
All right, KU softball this week. We should have put it down there in the wording, but KU gets swept at home by UCF. Game 1 hitless, unfortunately.
Right.
Game 2 goes to extras before the Golden Knights take it, and then the Golden Knights take it in Game 3. So 3 straight home losses. Next up this coming week, actually, the Big 12 tournament. They'll likely face off against UCF again down in Oklahoma City.
And we'll be keeping up with all of it.
We sure will.
All right. After 10 sessions, spring football has come to a close over in Manhattan. 8 of those were full practices, while the others were just walkthroughs. So really, what did head coach Chris Kleiman learn about his team this offseason? Defensively, he said it was hard to get a good grasp of things with so many guys dealing with injuries and missing most of the spring. Offensively, though, we'll let him share his biggest takeaway. Little hint, it does have to do with the evolution of Avery Johnson.
Confidence he has, the leadership that he has, and it's just made our whole offense, I think, a lot more confident, a lot more efficient. And so even though we didn't have a full complement of spring practices, I felt really good on that side of the ball because of the growth of Avery.
Well, Coach added that there's been a big-time difference between where Avery was at last spring versus this spring. Of course, you know, starting a full season worth of games will end up doing that for you.
That'll do it. And check this out. There's a familiar face getting some reps at Chiefs rookie minicamp. Jared Casey, the pride of Plainville, Kansas, down in my direction at Ness City. He's showing off his skills. He was an underdog at KU, joining the team as a walk-on in 2020, and now going undrafted, trying to prove himself to Kansas City. But Casey, he says he's embracing that.
I'm shorter than most guys. I may not be as big as some guys, but obviously that's been like that my whole life. I've been told that my whole life, and I don't really care what everybody else says. I know what I bring to the table, and I truly believe that. And just like I said earlier, my trust and faith in God will take me a long way.
He did acknowledge how much of a dream it is to be donning the red and yellow.
That's pretty cool. And here's a list of some other K-Nation guys who were out at Chiefs mini camp. Wearing number 1 is K-State kicker Chris Tennant.
Mill Valley guy.
I know, right? Along with one-year wideout Dante Cephas. KU safety Marvin Grant is on the defensive side, and K-State Austin Moore is 2, former linebacker. The 3-year Cat Nate Matlack is there. He played his last season at Pitt.
All right, welcome to Manhattan, Bill Peterson.
Welcome.
Joining Jerome Tang on the K-State men's basketball coaching staff. Peterson brings 47 years of coaching experience to the Little Apple.
Okay.
And he was with Tang on the Baylor National Championship team. He's known for his development of players, and here's what he says he looks for in recruits.
A good work ethic. You have to get in the gym and really work. You know, coming in the gym and shooting jump shots and hanging out and talking to everybody is not work. And then the other thing is, with all the guys I was able to really help, the guys that made it were really teachable. They didn't have all the answers. They wanted to know, they wanted to grow and learn. And when you find guys like that really want to learn and listen, it makes it much easier to help them become really great players.
Great at coaching, maybe not so much setting up the Zoom. Peterson spent many a year in the NBA working with legends like Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, and Karl Malone.
That's pretty cool. Good.
And like we said at the top, we're going to talk KU hoops later.
Absolutely.
So don't go anywhere. We're just getting started. Take it away, Caroline.
Coming up, we've got more basketball talk. The one and only Henry Greenstein joins us to talk the ins and the outs of the portal for KU men's hoops.
But first, how about a blast from the past for K-State volleyball?
How about it?
We'll tell you which big-time alumni made an appearance in Manhattan right after this.
Batter up at Play It Again Sports. We offer an extensive selection of new and used baseball and softball equipment from Wilson, Easton, Rawlings, Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, String King, Dudley, Mizuno, Marucci, and Nakona. We have custom uniforms. Try before you buy with our indoor batting cage. Bring in your quality used gear to save even more by trading in and trading up or get cash on the spot. We are buying all day, every day. Play It Again Sports, 21st and Fairlawn in the Fairlawn Plaza Mall.
There's no tariffs on American-made products, and that's all we offer. High-quality American-made siding and windows, and for a short time, they're 40% off.
Here's what you know. You were injured in a crash involving a big truck.
But here's what you don't know. While you're trying to recover, the trucking company is already taking steps that could hurt you and your family.
Combing the crash site, talking to witnesses, coaching their drivers, trying to shift the blame away from them and onto you.
And if that sounds bad, what comes next could be even worse.
Let our team protect you.
Truck crash? Call 888-8888.
Blind Tiger Brewery, the place for amazing steaks. USDA choice, sirloin, ribeye, KC strip, and filet. Hand cut and grilled to order.
Blind Tiger Brewery and Restaurant, 37th and Kansas.
Keep your RV in top shape with Noller RV's exclusive service specials. Our part-timer package is just $349, perfect for occasional trips. And our weekender package is only $11.99, ideal for frequent travelers. Visit Noller RV today for expert service and peace of mind on the road.
It only takes one moment for you to inspire someone to chase their dreams. For over 50 years, Lewis Toyota has seen our community inspire the next generation. We want to take a moment to thank you for choosing to make a difference. You never know how far a little encouragement will go.
Don't miss Into the Woods at the historic Columbian Theater in Wamego.
Welcome back into K-Nation. This offseason will mark the start of year 3 for the Jason Mansfield era for K-State volleyball. And little birdie tells me there was some fun in Morgan Family Arena yesterday.
Hey, I was the little birdie. I'll wrap myself out. It was fun. The Volley Cats welcomed dozens of former players back to town for the first ever alumni scrimmage. Most of them getting to see the shiny new arena for the first time. Remember, a lot of these gals were setting and spiking in Ahern or Bramlage. The likes of Aaliyah Carter and Liz Grigorski watched on from the sidelines while people like Liz Wegner and the 2011 Sweet 16 team faced off against the 2025-26 roster.
So important for them to know the past, know the players that have helped build this program, and it's so special for the alums to play in the arena for the first time, and to play with them. I think they know they can still play, and they have a great personality about them. They don't take themselves too serious, and I think the girls can learn from that.
An important thing, for sure. And here's the GOAT of K-State volleyball right here, Liz Wegner-Busch. Coming up later in the show, we sit down with the Wildcats' all-time leader in points and kills one-on-one. She was great.
And it's probably Mason Miner-Sagan.
Yep.
KU sophomore, women's pole vaulter. She broke her own tied record at the Desert Heat Classic this week, clearing the bar at 4.51 meters. If you're doing the math at home, that's about 1.5 basketball goals.
Wow.
14.7 feet.
Taller than me.
She also, that's a few Carolines stacked on top of her own shoulders. She also has a school record in the indoors, and since she won this event, that marks one of the 4 events that the Jayhawks took gold in over the weekend.
And meanwhile, for the second straight year, KU rowing claims bragging rights in the Sunflower Showdown. The Jayhawks won 3 of the 5 races, but victories in the first 2 varsity 8s were enough points to send them over the top pretty early. And then in the final race, the Wildcats edged out a win by 0.2 of a second over a 2,000-meter stretch of Wyandotte County Lake.
And by the way, we've got NCAA women's golf starting tomorrow.
Yeah, we do.
Jayhawks are going to be in Columbus, Ohio, and Ohio State's regional, while the Wildcats are off to Lexington, Kentucky for Kentucky's regional. Those run Monday through Wednesday. I want to go back to that rowing. 2,000 meters with a 0.2 of a second win. That's 5 laps around the track.
That's insane.
And they won like that.
That's crazy.
So, it was a picture over 2,000 meters. Crazy to me.
Dub is a dub.
Take us a break.
All right, stick around. Coming up, that one-on-one with one of the greatest volley cats to ever do it. Liz Wegner-Busch recaps her return to the floor next.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis,
988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support.
When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors
who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources.
There is hope.
You are not alone.
For 24/7 non-judgmental support,
call, text, or chat 988.
At Briggs Auto Group, we buy cars hassle-free, fair, and competitive. Whether you're looking to sell or trade in, Briggs Auto Group makes it simple and stress-free. Come see us today at Briggs Auto Group, where trust matters and customers are number one.
From clearing land to building sheds or retaining walls to digging ponds, All Seasons Excavating and Landscape is here to turn your vision into reality. Our experienced equipment operators can create landscapes that increase your property's value. Call All Seasons Excavating and Landscape today.
Welcome back to the McCride Open.
It all comes down to this. This is what she's been working for.
If she makes this, she gets the jacket.
McCride Plaza, a retirement community like no other.
I would highly recommend Denali Homes to anybody to come get their products from them, to come in and browse their store and talk to them about installation of most anything that you need for your home.
How about that?
It's all happening on Today.
Piper, no!
Monday, Jennifer Gardner.
I want it all.
Nate Bargatze.
Mind-blowing.
And Craig takes us into the classroom of one of the nation's most inspiring teachers. Monday on Today.
If you know an outstanding student athlete who deserves to be recognized, nominate them for Scholar Athlete of the Week at KSNT.com. Sponsored by Kansas 811 and Briggs Auto Group.
Welcome back into K-Nation. K-State volleyball put a stamp on the spring season on Saturday, but it wasn't just any old match.
No, definitely not. It was a blend of the past and the present as the Cats welcome back some big-time alumni, and among them, the program's all-time leader in career kills and points. Here's Liz Wegner-Busch. After the career that you had, being back here at K-State, playing as an alumni, you were suiting up out there. How fun was that to get out there with the girls?
It was really, really fun to see some old players that I've had the chance to watch play over the years, and to play with the current players. It's really fun because all in our minds we feel like we're right there, we're capable of playing, and it was a lot of fun. And actually we played pretty well, so it's made it a lot more fun.
Team K-State, you guys you took the cake on that one today.
Right, for sure. We were the winners. We really, we're all competitive, and that's why we got to where we were, and we were able to play here at K-State. And so, we always want to win. All of them had that competitive drive, and all of them were talking about would they do it again, and we're like, absolutely. We want to play as much as we can.
Liz, I know being in this building is not new for you as you do the color commentary for K-State volleyball. You live here in Manhattan too, right? So you're kind of close to the scene, and you're kind of around this program quite a bit still, right?
Yeah, I'm very, very fortunate that I get to do the color commentating for K-State volleyball, and it's so fun because I get to know a lot of the girls, and so I feel like all the alumni I really know. I've been able to develop some relationships, and it's great. It's great to get to know the program and still feel very much a part of it. And so I love being here in Manhattan, and I love being able to come into this beautiful arena. It's so amazing compared to where we played. The girls, the old alumni we were talking about. The hot box of Ahern, which we loved Ahern. It's hard to know that it's not volleyball's home anymore, but this is an amazing arena, and it's really fun to get to play in it for the first time.
Being on the court is a little different, right? Being on the floor. I mean, what did it bring back nostalgic feelings, to just be out there, but also say, oh gosh, this is not the same? Or I don't know what that's like. So what was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's different. The court's way different. They have the Terraflex, and we played on the regular wooden floors, and then Ahern was hot, classically and notoriously just hot.
Bring your
and
deodorant.
So exactly, you're changing shirts because you're just sweating through shirts every practice. But so this is awesome, and it's a beautiful environment. I love how close the fans are, because it's one of the things about Ahern that we love so much is the fans were right on top of the court, which made it a really fun environment to play in. So I'm glad that they kept that aspect of the volleyball court here at K-State.
Liz, you were part of one of the most successful eras of K-State volleyball. What do you remember most from that time? Does being in this arena as a color commentator, even here today, does it kind of bring back some of those feelings when you were out there? What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, one of the things about this program is, the players are all just phenomenal human beings, and I think they are willing to work really hard to be as best as they can. One of the things I'm so proud of is coming and putting K-State volleyball a little bit more on the map. We made the NCAA tournament. We made Sweet 16 tournament, and first time ever when I played. And so just kind of continuing to build that, and it's a lot of fun to see where it was and where we're going, and with the new arena and everything. I think it's really exciting to see where this program's going.
And your name is all over the K-State volleyball record book. We've got career points in there. We've got career kills. I mean, that record is still standing, that all-time career kills record. Aaliyah Carter almost got you. She got close. What was it like watching her over her career at K-State?
Oh yeah, she's a phenomenal player, and very much kind of like us in that she, in myself, a smaller outside hitter, high flyer, really strong arm, and so a lot of fun to watch her. I thought she might really get it last year, but a phenomenal player. Put her name in the history books for K-State for sure. So, I mean, it's fun to have that tradition and that history, and I hope someday somebody can go beat those records. But I enjoyed my time at K-State. I worked really hard. I feel like I wanted just to bleed purple for my team, and we talked about that a lot. Just have that K-State spirit. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and how did you maybe instill that in the current players that you guys played with in this alumni match? I was talking to Coach Mansfield just about the learning piece and his current players getting to see the history, getting to be with you guys and kind of experience that. Is that something you guys talked about in that match? Is that something that you can instill in those players to this day?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm 20 plus years older than most of these girls, and so, that you can still have that competitive spirit and that drive to win, and a lot of the skills, kind of stay with you, and kind of those important things. But, just being able to rally the people around you and build the people around you up, that's one of the most important things you can do as a player on the court.
Since you were such a big part of K-State volleyball, you've been in Manhattan for so long, you're still close to the scene. What do people maybe need? Is there like a hidden gem in Manhattan, whether that's like a restaurant or a place to go walk, or what's something that you do as a local that maybe people wouldn't know about if they didn't spend that much time here?
Right. Well, Manhattan's a very beautiful town. Yes. And so as someone who loves the outdoors, I think the Kanza is always a beautiful place to visit and hike. And then if you're looking for a great place to eat down in Aggieville, you've got So Long Saloon, which is one of my favorites, or Taco Lucha. So those are fun places to go here in Manhattan, Kansas.
I've been to Taco Lucha. The bean dip? Do we need to talk about the bean dip? Perfect. Well, Liz, thank you so much. Seriously, I appreciate the time and am honored to share the bleacher with you today. So thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, if you didn't catch it in there, Liz does the color commentary for K-State women's volleyball broadcast. She says she actually doesn't love being on the camera that much, which is funny to me because she was fantastic.
She did so well.
She was a pro.
I
almost
enjoyed the
as good as she was on the court.
I got lost
right?
in it. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
She's the go to everything she does. All right, coming up after the break on K-Nation, who's in? Who's out? And what does Bill Self need to add? We've got LJ World's Henry Greenstein with us to unpack the portal next.
We get a lot of calls from people asking if we sell and install siding and windows. Oh my goodness, Murphy, yes, of course we do roofs. It's in our name.
Metzler Roofing, Siding, and Windows. It's all in the name, all your needs under one.
If you've been injured in Kansas, or really anywhere, you need to talk to an attorney who has experience representing people who've been seriously injured. I've been doing this for 30 years. And it's all I've done since 1997. I'm confident we are going to be able to get your case resolved because this is all we do is represent injured people just like you.
If you've been in a wreck or injured and need help, call me. I'm here for you.
Just announced employee pricing to the public. At Noller Ford, get $10,000 off a new Bronco. 24 Ford Expeditions take a massive $20,000 off. Get a new 24 F-150 and take up to $10,000 off. Better than employee pricing. That's the Noller way.
Hi, Clay Sherwood here with Frank and Dean, the CEOs of Cute.
They want to make sure that you live your best pool life by keeping your pool clear with Pool Life chemicals. Let swims and sweeps keep you cool this summer.
Established in 2005, Sardo Countertops opened to transform houses into homes and to provide exquisite service throughout the Midwest. The result is a true masterpiece for your home.
It's Live's I Love Mom week-long celebration.
Oh, thank you.
It all starts next Live with David Spade, plus Jordan Davis performs.
Monday at 11 on 27 KSNT.
Well, welcome back into K-Nation. We're going to talk about the KU men's basketball transfer portal and the current roster right now. And thankfully, since there is so much to keep track of, we have a very special guest with us here to do so. Henry Greenstein from the Lawrence Journal World. Henry, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure as always, guys.
We had a whole slew of people outside the studio saying, we want Henry back. So of course he's
and here he is.
Yeah.
We delivered.
I want to jump right in. That no huge splashes, I'd say, in the transfer portal, but something tells me that might have to do something with Darren Peterson coming in. Is Darren Peterson the cure to the illness that was in Lawrence this season?
I mean, they certainly think so. And yeah, Landon, I think you're right. It is by design that there hasn't been a huge, massive name player coming in so far. I mean, for one thing, a lot of players in the portal are looking to be the guy wherever they go. So KU is kind of having to pick and choose players who are still accomplished but content to be a second or third option. I think that explains some of the lower profile guys they've gotten thus far. But also I think it's kind of a reaction to the past couple transfer classes and how taking these huge swings hasn't necessarily worked out for KU. You know, Hunter Dickinson was a multi-time All-American, so him excluded, and Zeke Mayo obviously worked out quite nicely. But besides that, it's been a lot of looking for big names, high shooting percentages, and that hasn't always panned out. This set of people, and Jaden Dawson, Trey White, and Melvin Council Jr., to me looks like an opportunity to find people who align in terms of mindset and the way they approach playing basketball and playing defense and hustling and whatnot. People who are aligned with Bill Self and the kind of style that he wants to play.
Melvin Council Jr., just because he is the most recent addition in the last couple weeks. What do you know about him? What have you seen, whether that's floating around on social media, you know, watching things from back last season? What can people expect to see from this guy?
Self says that he reminds him of Tyshawn Taylor.
Yeah, it's an excellent comparison. I think KU fans will certainly come to like him in the same way they did Tyshawn. This is a guy who's basically had to scrap for everything he's gotten in his basketball career. He started at Monroe Junior College, spent 2 years there, a year at Wagner where he led them to the NCAA tournament. They made the first four, won a game there, and then lost to North Carolina in the first round. And then a year at St. Bonaventure. So he's been around. He's got an extra year because of the JUCO ruling. And this is a guy who takes defense seriously. He's accomplished when it comes to driving at the rim. The main knock on him is not a very good shooter. He's effectively a 30% three-point shooter. And that is one thing I think as we look to see what KU does next in the weeks and months ahead, they got to add some more outside shooting.
A winner at the places that he's been as well. Trey White brings a lot of experience, a 6'4" combo stretch kind of guy. What do you like out of the Illinois transfer?
Yeah, I expect them to end up using him at the 3 and 4, probably mostly the 4 the way things are panning out right now, which will be a little bit of a change when you're coming from having KJ Adams the last few years. You know, someone who has a lot of power conference experience, and this is about to be his 4th different power conference. He really values rebounding. He can step out and shoot it, even if it's not like a primary aspect of his game, so at least force defenders to come out to the perimeter and respect him to some extent. But another guy, I mean, at Illinois, his teammates considered him a glue guy. Yes. I think he'll be the glue of this starting lineup in the same way, because I do envision him starting regardless of whoever they may add, simply because they don't really have another player who slots in as a 4 right now. So that's in terms of like the transfers they've added thus far, I think Trey White's positional fit may be the most valuable.
Yeah, and one more quick one, Henry, but you said there's 4 open roster spots before we started talking earlier. Just what do you think, just from watching this team, observing them, what's something that they need to go get, somebody that they need to add?
Well, the number one need is a backup big man. We don't really know what Bryson Tiller looks like at this juncture of his career. Not only because he's going to be a redshirt freshman, technically, because he enrolled early, but also because he's coming off a very long-term ankle injury. He didn't get to integrate himself with practice in the way they might have liked, because he was still dealing with that injury in his early enrolling semester. So with that in mind, you need someone to play minutes when Flory Badunga's on the bench.
And Flory, a freshman last year, but still got in foul trouble at times, so definitely a backup needed.
Need that help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Henry, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, stick with us. We got more K-Nation right after this.
When people hear how much Devon James has won for our clients, their reactions are priceless.
Check this out.
What? Is that for real? That's a game changer.
Man, that's awesome.
Whoa, that's amazing!
You gotta be kidding me!
Whoa, Devon James wins.
Let me see that again.
If you've been injured in a car accident,
find out how much Devon James can win for you. Devon James wins. Call 888-8888.
Spring is the season for fresh starts, and at Faith Furniture, it's time for a furniture refresh. We're making room for the new, and that means huge savings on top quality name brand furniture. Out with the old and in with the new. Save up to 50% off the latest styles and enjoy up to 36 months of free financing. Hurry into Faith Furniture's spring cleaning sale. Make room for the new with savings and financing that are too good to miss. Visit us today, because the best deals won't last long.
At Total Wound Care, we know that healing begins with comfort. Our expert wound care specialists come directly to you where it matters most, home. Total Wound Care provides personalized consultations, guiding patients through every step of recovery, focusing on non-healing wounds, using evidence-based care plans and the latest technology to promote faster healing and better outcomes. Covered by Medicare, Medicare Advantage plans, and a preferred provider of the VA. Total Wound Care Specialty Group. We bring healing home.
Why do most roofers say to replace your roof instead of rejuvenate your shingles? Simple, because they can't offer our service. If you've been told to replace your roof, call RoofMax Topeka today. We would rather bring your roof back to life than replace it for you. Get all your options. It could be saved.
On the next Fox 43 AM Live, we're joined by our friends with the Topeka Symphony Orchestra as they get ready for their final show of the season. Plus, we'll visit with Mimi Wholesome Heart Pediatric Respite. Join us Monday morning at 9.
All right, I love rooting for our former K-Nation athletes, but I have a bone to pick with Christian Brown. He sent my LA Clippers to Cancun yesterday.
That is a tough look for you. Yeah, in Game 7 with the Nuggets, the former Jayhawk put up an efficient 21 points on 3 of 5 shooting from behind the arc, and he added 5 rebounds and 4 assists as Denver advances to face 1-seeded Oklahoma City.
Yeah, no eye-popping personal stats, but K-State's Dean Wade and Aquan Tomlin are rolling with the East 1 seed Cleveland right now.
Cleveland's good.
So yeah, bone to pick with, it's not fun being on the other side of Christian Brown's yelling and screaming.
They call him a winner. That's what they say.
They do. All right, thanks for watching K-Nation.
Have a great night.
I begged my grandma to help me pay for it, and I did some extra yard work for her, but she paid for my spring break to Florida.
My bat boys look up there a lot, and they tell me what's going on, which is frightening, but
perfect.